They're reminding me of a saying. It's like, don't shave it all off, but always trim it down. And it's like this idea of like, it's like you always want to have desires and you always want to reach for them, but you never want to fully attain them, because if you get everything you want, then there's nothing left to grow. There's nothing left to attain for, strive for, aim for. It's like there's no journey left, something like that. Which I guess is the idea of, we talked about that before, there's no such thing as perfection unless you're dead, because then it's over. Right? So it's like you don't want it to be over. You want to always have things to strive for so that you can enjoy life. But it's also funny because the other end of that story is then never allow yourself to have everything you want. Do you hear that? It's kind of like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. Is that what we're teaching? And it's like yes and no. It's like just understanding that balance. It's not to punish, but it's the idea of, it's like enjoy stuff as it comes in, but you want it to have a steady stream of coming in. It's like that idea of you want to line things up so that you're always planting seeds, but you also want to, it's like you get to that sweet spot, right? It's like anytime you start like a new business or something, it's not all gonna, let me use real estate, for example, because I remember when I was in that was something I had learned over time. I saw it, and then other people saw that pattern too, and it's like, say the same thing. They would confirm that too. It was this idea of like, people go into it and it's really hard to get into that business depending on where you're at, location wise. And it's like the idea of you just need to build your business for the first, depending on the market and the area and whatnot, 3 to 5 years. And in doing so, it might seem like dire straits, and most people can't get through it because they're like, well, I can't live on nothing, right? Like they can only sustain it for so long. But as they build that, it's like they might represent people who are buying homes all the time, right? Well, after they get to maybe year 5, all those people who had bought their first home, let's say, they decide now they're ready to sell the home they bought from you, plus buy a new one. So the next thing you know, you went from struggling and slowly, painfully building to all of a sudden, now you have, it's like double the goods, right? Like now you're selling a home that they bought from you, plus helping them purchase a new home, plus they're referring you out to their friends. So now all of a sudden it kind of like clicks, it all syncs up, it all lines up, and it starts to flow, and you really start to flow in that career. And so it's just a good example to be able to hear it or see it. I hope you can hear it that way. And so it's that idea of all of life where we want to be constantly working towards things and planting seeds, but also recognizing it is always challenging in the beginning part, when where, it's like you have to, get the land prepared, and then you have to plant the seeds, and then you have to water them, and But you want to be doing that all the time so that, you might have done that with the first set, and now you leave it alone and you're off doing several other things. And next thing you know, you're back to stage 1, or like crop 1 that is ready to be harvested. And as you're enjoying the fruits of that, something else comes in and something else comes in. But you want to constantly be in that rotation where you're always, it is this idea of like striving for more, or planting new seeds, or getting excited about something and then working towards it, so that you always have that enjoyment of that flow. But that also does imply that there is it's like no stopping or no end point. I'm just trying to think like, I guess it's the idea of like some people, I guess we would call it like lazy. It's like they want an end point, or they want, I'm just trying to think, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to hear and see what they're saying, because like, doesn't that mean then they're not actually excited about what they're doing? I guess that's the point of, you want to be doing what you're passionate about. You want to be planting seeds where you're excited. You want to be learning and growing the things that are actually of interest to you. Because if not, then it does become more of a chore. It does become more of a challenge. It does become more of an annoyance. And I guess that's all where we're vibrating, our state, our understanding, our perspective. Like, I know I've been there. You've heard me get on here many times with that, where it's like, you can get into a low state and you're like, you just want it to be over, or you just want to be done with it, or you just want to whatever. And it's like, it's your perspective, it's your state of being, it's your mindset, it's your vibration at the time is really low, and you don't want to manifest from there. You want to wait until you're back at a neutral or above state, and you it's like can see clearly once more. Nonetheless, yeah, sorry, they're showing a few other things here. Okay, yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.